allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to number 4, public input. This is the time and place for discussion items not already on the agenda with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Anyone? Anyone?
I have an unidentified person on here. I've asked iPhone 17, can you please identify who you are? Okay, I'm going to remove them then.
Okay. All right, moving on to 5A. Discussion and possible action in reference to job posting for librarian. You have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Nathan.
Hi.
John. I'm Rich Eskelson. I'm the library board president. I've been on the library board for a little over 20 years.
Oh my God.
I know. And I'm still here. All the hair migrated from my top of my head to my face. So that's where it's all went in these 20 years. I just wanted to tell you a little bit of history of what we're seeking tonight. In August, our long-term librarian, Amy White, announced that she would like to retire. And it's kind of a big blow. She's been there for a very, very long time. And so we kind of have some big shoes to fill. So what we did as a library board is we met, and then we divided up into a subcommittee. And that subcommittee consisted of Steve Neely, Rochelle Bitterman, and myself. And we met together and we started planning and making some plans. And we had conversations about the history of the library. And I just think it's interesting. I wanted to share with you what Amy shared with us a little bit. She says, when I started this job 34 years ago, the library was a little more than a depository for donated books. The building, the furnishings, and the collection were outdated. The second floor was a dirty old attic with no electricity. And with a forward-thinking library board and staff and the support of our city council and staff, we have built a library that reflects our community and serves the needs of its members. Balancing the preservation and integrity of a historic building, providing citizens with current technology and services, and organizing programming for all ages required constant vigilance and group effort. Partnerships they built and the outreach we affected with other community groups, Lisbon Schools, Southeast Lynn Community Center, LECC, Mount Vernon's School Library, and local business in both towns have made our little library much bigger. And I really want to share with you that because I really think that's part of the philosophy of the current library board is to make this little library much bigger than it is. In square footage wise, it's pretty small, but in outreach and vision and with technology, this library it's a big deal. And while I've been on the library board, I've always thought of it as like a third floor. I mean, there's no real third floor, but there's plenty of room for everyone in the town to enjoy third floor or imagine what could be on a third floor. And you don't have to go very far to do that. Some of the things that have happened while Amy has been the library director, we formed a Friends of the Library group in 2014. Heritage Hall was renovated in 1997, and we've also improved our online presence. There's an online catalog which allows citizens to go online and check and see what's in the book catalog. Now, imagine that in 34 years, you could never collect that many books. And so some of the other things that have been done is we've also tied ourselves with the state of Iowa library, and there's books exchanges, and you can get any book that you really can pretty much think of through the library today. So this brings me to the big point. A part-time library director does everything a full-time library director does, just in less time. And so after looking over the duties of the staff, our subcommittee quickly realized that we needed to look for a full-time position in order to adequately fulfill the services of and be a caretaker of the library, and more a caretaker than just a stack of books. We realized that for the library to continue to grow and prosper, just like Lisbon, we needed a full-time director. And we believe that among other duties, a full-time director can focus on these things: improving our website, creating better communication with the patrons through email and newsletters, developing more partnerships with cities and businesses and school leaders to work on literacy in our humble Lisbon town. And we also believe that they can work with new patrons moving into our community and encourage them to take advantage of the library services. And we can also offer more services and programming with the new library director. So we believe this is more important than ever because the world's changing a little bit too, right? Because there's so much technology available, but you may not know how to use it. And so the library director is going to have to fulfill a lot of positions more than just teaching children how to open a book or to learn how to read. So our committee began to work on a plan for a full-time director and some of the things that we did. We met with the current director and we discussed the staffing needs. We realized at this point that there's a full-time librarian, and there's also a number of part-time staff that help and fill things out in the library. Amy also instructed us that some of the staff may be leaving as well when she leaves. So there will be a little position shift that way. We worked on, one of the main things we worked on was creating a job description, and we received approval from our board, and we all agreed on the language for that. We also worked with our city administrator, Brandon, on what a 32-hour position, about a 32-hour position, which would be a full-time position. We also consulted with our treasurer, Daryl Aaron, and he helped us do a little bit of number rigging so that we can, let me explain this. What we wanted to do is we wanted to create a starting wage of between $21 and $24 an hour to help us attract an effective candidate for the position and remain budget neutral. And we have a current budget of $56,600 for this year, and a 32-hour employee at $24 an hour runs close to $40,000 a year, and that still gives us $16,600 for our part-time staff, which we feel is very important as well. And finally, we met with the employment officers on the council, John and Nate, last week. Okay, so that brings me to what we're seeking in action from the council. We'd like to seek action from the council to approve a full-time library position as library director. And 2, we'd like to get an employment ad running. And 3, our subgroup and the employment group is also preparing for interviews, and then of course hiring a candidate. The full-time director has given us a timeline of retirement by the end of February, and so we want to act as soon as we can to start collecting applicants and then give her time to do some training. So thank you, and do you have any questions for me?
Thanks, Rich. Do you have any questions? Sarah, do you have any questions?
No, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Sarah.
Oh, it's been obviously I'm one of the old guys around, but she's been here the whole time. I was involved in hiring her, and she has proven to be a joy.
Yeah.
The library is extremely important in Lisbon, and once you lose it, or it goes backwards,
Right.
It's at bottom possibly get back up. But yeah, when the second floor of that building, You should have seen it when Amy came on.
Right. I was at the tail end, like, when we mopped the floors the last time and it was all clean, that's when I came on the board. But I can only imagine that was
Well,
quite
we
a
had a
dusty
truck
venture.
tire in eastern Iowa up there, and things like that. And that room, without getting off subject, but that room is a classic when you see all of the handwritten names that are there. And I'm the idiot that made them cut them so that you could see them.
Right.
They wanted to cover those all up, and I said, no. And we get a great deal of use out of that upstairs.
Absolutely. Performers have even asked us to perform there because
They love it.
they love that the piano is tuned and that the space is comfortable.
Yep, yeah. Very well.
All right. Well, Richard's asking for us to, in the packet, there's a job description, job summary. Is this the ad we would effectively post on Indeed
We'll end up having to do, just so everyone knows, and I brought this up at our meeting, we can't levy the benefits, so we're gonna have to do a budget amendment from now till June to incorporate the benefits into our budget. But as I said, after this time, it's gonna be budget neutral, then we can levy the benefits. So the only increase is gonna be just levying the benefits in the future. But they're pretty confident that they can do 32 hours, they can fulfill this. So, yeah, as soon as you get the approval tonight, we'll go ahead and start this posting and hopefully get this process moving.
All right.
Well, I would so move.
All right, so I have a motion to approve the seeking of a library director according to the summary in the packet. I have a second. We'll do a roll call for this. Mike? John? Sarah?
Aye.
And I say aye. So we'll get her going.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on to 5B. Discussion and possible action in reference to December 25th council meeting. We don't want to come in on Christmas. Don't we love doing this?
That's up to all of you. But typically, we've waived the last meeting in December. Now that the state budgets are extended a little bit, it makes the timeline a lot better. You can also see the timeline of budgets that's also sitting alongside you up there. So I don't see anything that's pressing. If something comes up that's we need to meet for, we can always have a special meeting if need be, but I don't see any issue. And then with that, at the next council meeting, if you decide to not have the meeting in December, then we'll have it on the next meeting to pay the rest of the warrants for the rest of the year, so.
Okay. All right. I think we typically skip the meeting because it's associated closely with Christmas. We always have our ducks in a row for any, bills or invoices that might come up. Do we have a motion to forego the December 25th meeting?
Move to approve.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on to 5C, discussion of possible action in reference to BE Lisbon Grant.
No.
Are you here for that, Joe?
I am.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Joe Jennison. I'm the Director of Main Street and Marketing for the Mount Vernon-Lisbon Community Development. So I was asked by Brandon to help with this BE Lisbon Grant. It's a grant that city funds, $5,000. And working with Brandon, we came up with an application, and we came up with a judge's score sheet to enable judges to properly assess the applications that came in. I then recruited two previous winners of BE Lisbon to be on a jury that looked over the applications. So we got two applications in from businesses in Lisbon, and they were both very well done and put together. We used that judge's score sheet to come up with a method, and then we put all of our scores together and 1-1. Owner
Okay.
So, and that was Rebecca Hatz with Canton Studio. You know her, just works down the street. So we picked her because of a lot of different reasons, but she really wants to boost her retail. And we all thought that retail on Main Street, more retail would be a really good thing. And she had some really good ideas regarding marketing and regarding design and what she wants to do to compete with retail on Main Street. So that is what we did. We picked her, and she came up with a really nice budget. As you may or may not remember, she does have some skin in the game. It's 25% that she puts in, with the city of Lisbon coming up with the rest. So that's who we chose, and I guess with your permission, we're going to move forward.
All right.
Do you need a vote on that?
So we voted the application, we designated the funds, we just need to now vote that she's the recipient. She'll go do the work, and she doesn't get paid until the work is completed and the receipts are turned in.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the suggestion, the recommendation from Joe. And is it from your organization or is it from you and the jury?
Well, myself and the jury. So both of these people that were on this committee with me, I know they both have businesses on Lisbon Main Street. So that's why I chose them. So they both volunteered for me before, and I knew that they would do a good job, and I feel that they did. I'm confident in what they came up with.
All right, then I'll repeat. I make a motion to approve the recommendation from Joe and his team. And do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you very much, Joe.
I'll put a press release out and announce this week and throw it up on my website and send it to you to put on your website as well.
Oh, I see Becky up there online.
She's watching.
Congratulations, Becky.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys. These programs make a big difference for businesses in Lisbon. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, good. Glad to hear it. All right, moving on to 5D.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Joe.
you.
5D, discussion of possible action in reference to pay estimate 3 final to Greg Butteris LLC for $1,492.27 for City Hall ADA improvements.
This is the retainage from the last payment. You had to wait 30 days after the completion of the project, so that's what this is. Dave, I believe, is on. I don't think there's anything else to add, but Dave, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't, it's just retainage.
Okay.
Work is completed.
Yes.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the pay estimate 3. Do I have a second?
Second them.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Moving on to 5E, discussion of possible action in reference to utility bill reduction request.
So you'll see in your packet, this was a letter that was submitted. There's really no, for water bills, I put the ordinance in here. If you read through that, I ended up awarding the 25% that we're allowed to reduce the bill based on the ordinance.
Okay.
This resident was not, she wants more than that. She had a leaky toilet, as you can see in her letter to you. The ordinance doesn't allow for anything more than that. However, she was still wanting to appeal that decision. So we've had one other that did this before, brought it before you. We just kind of discuss it, but obviously it's not advisable to do any more than what the ordinance says. One, because we'd be violating our ordinance, and two, this happens quite frequently. And as long as they meet, by definition of the ordinance, of mechanical failure, I go ahead and credit the 25%. And you can, and Christine, would you say probably twice a month this happens? On average?
Yeah.
Once to twice a month this happens, so, anyway.
So I think we're going fairly far because you're not fixing, you're not doing your maintenance, really isn't the city of Lisbon's responsibility.
People don't
For whatever
understand.
reason, or for
what-
whatever reason, the mechanical
Right.
failure, it's not the city's responsibility.
Like a dripping faucet and a leaky toilet over the course of a month, you would be so shocked how much water. We have a chart in the office, and it's really incredible how much water you actually lose. So, I know that Marcia and Christina work diligently at this, and we always notify the residents ahead of time, and that's one reason how these get caught ahead of time, so that they can, because see, we can do this over the course of 3 months. But I think it's important to get on this right away, so one, we get the issue fixed, and it's gonna save the city and save the customer money in the long run. But, I understand unforeseen circumstances come up, but I just know that if we'd be opening a can of worms to do anything more than what the ordinance says, and,
I agree.
we can always change the ordinance too, but I don't think we can approve that prior to.
No, even if we did change the ordinance in force at the time of the occurrence is what it is. If you've done the limit of the ordinance, I see no reason to try to do any more.
Okay.
We can't legally.
We don't need action on this, like I said, there's really not an appeal process once they've been given the maximum, but since she still wanted this to go before you, I put it on here just as a discussion piece, so.
Okay.
And I was just gonna say that we've had this happen before, and I would hate to do something for this person and not the next person, or the previous person. So I say we just continue, as long as I'm on the council, we just continue what we've always done, and you've already issued the 25% and follow the ordinance. That's
Does anyone wish to make a motion to appeal, to grant the appeal to this? No? All right, no action. Moving on to 6A, public hearing in reference to changes to ordinance chapter 165. This is the water bill?
Yep, so this is the extra 2 sections of the rebar in the driveway. So we'll just need a motion to go into public hearing.
I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So we'll,
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I guess we're in public hearing at 7:24.
So this is chapter 165, if you recall, and I think here in your notes is the info from Dave from the engineer office about the additional information that he found to site plan requirements. And this other chapter in reference to adding rebar to the driveway between the sidewalk and the curb and the right of way. Dave, do you have anything to add?
The items highlighted in red are what we added to it, so it stands out on the 2 documents. This makes it consistent with other sections of our code.
When you say consistent, you mean consistent with like what the sidewalk rebar requirement is for a driveway, or?
Sidewalk and driveway
And
rebar.
And approach?
Yes.
So this one here is gonna be for the supplementary district regulations, is where it was added, it's letter D.
Okay. Any other discussion regarding this? All right, I'll make a motion to go out of public hearing. Do I have a second?
second.
A motion, a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And we're out of public hearing. So 6B, first reading for ordinance 07-2023, update to chapter 165, possible suspension of rules and placing on ordinance on third and final reading. Is that?
Yes.
We should do the first
So
reading.
do the first
Do
reading,
the
and
first.
then you can suspend it if you want. and
I
then-
did not hear any comments or concerns from the last driveway sidewalk issue that we did, so we couldn't post the public hearing, so they couldn't all run in unison, so we had to do this separate, but, so if you feel, I don't see any reason why, since we passed the other one, why we would need to wait, but that's up to you guys.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 07-2023. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
I have a motion and I have a second. We'll do a roll call for this. Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Hey,
Nate says aye. Motion passes. All right, do we have a motion to suspend the rules and place the ordinance on the third and final reading?
I will, make a motion to suspend the third and final reading.
All right, I'll make a second. We'll roll call this as well. Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
I say aye. Now we'll do the third and final reading.
Correct, you got it.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the third and final reading for ordinance 07-2022?
So moved.
I have a motion,
Second.
and I have a second. Sarah?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Aye.
You're good, go ahead.
Rock stars, all right.
Do it one more time.
Okay, here we go. On 6C. Public hearing in reference to changes to ordinance chapter 173.
Motion to go into.
And, yep, we're looking for a motion to go into public hearing.
Make a motion to go into public hearing.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, we are in public hearing at 7:27 p.m.
This would be for chapter 173, open spaces, landscaping, parking. You can see what's added in red. This is just another section that Dave noticed that needed updated based on adding rebar to driveway between the sidewalk and the curb.
Okay. Any further discussion? Dave, anything to add?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. With no further discussion, I'll make a motion to go out of public hearing.
Second.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. 6D, first reading for ordinance 08-2023, update to chapter 173, site plan. Do I have a motion to approve the first reading?
I make a motion to approve the first reading of chapter 173.
All right. I have a motion and a second. We'll roll call this as well. Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
And I say aye. All right, possible suspension of rules and placing ordinance on third and final reading. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and place the ordinance on third and final reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
I say aye. And third and final reading. I'll make a motion to approve the third and final reading of ordinance 08-2023.
Second.
A motion and a second. Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Nate says aye. All right. All good? Okay. All right. Item 7, correspondences. Anything?
Just the budget schedule is all that I have for you tonight, and then you'll
Okay.
notice the police reports also up there.
All right. Any questions or comments on the budget schedule? Okay. And police report. We'll talk to you about that in a little bit. Okay. Moving on to number 8A, city engineers report. Dave, you're up.
All right, so the water main project, we buttoned everything up for the winter and just in time for the snow apparently. They won't be doing much until we get into decent weather to be able to pave the intersection of Main and Washington, and that'll be at contractor's discretion when they feel the weather is suitable. They don't have to do the cold weather concreting. So likely sometime in April or so, we'll see some activity on that again. Been waiting for Northway to get back to me on the retest for well 5. I did talk with Tom today. He's hoping to get test results back this week, so I was hoping to have that in time for council, but do not have any information to share at this point.
Okay. All right, thank you, Dave. Move on to 8B, Public Works Director. Do you have anything from Travis?
I can cover it in mine.
Okay, we'll move on to 8C, Parks and Rec Director report.
Just a couple things. We have girls' basketball going on still. Registrations for boys' basketball started last week or late the week before that. And then the only other thing, we have a Christmas parade, December 21st. It's going to be at 5 p.m. downtown. It'll run from Jackson Street down to Walnut, so it's just the main downtown 2 blocks, the business district. And then after that, we'll have a bake sale here. Southeast Lynn's doing a bake sale with free will donation, and we'll have Santa and Mrs. Claus in the fire station. We got snow, obviously, so I've been doing a little snow removal stuff, and that's about it.
All right, thank you. 8D, Police Department report.
Nothing additional unless you get questions.
I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
8E, Ambulance Director report. Anything from?
Nothing from him tonight.
Okay. 8F, Fire Chief report.
The only thing I have is that we had past couple meetings we've been discussing with the fire department. I've kind of gone over with them again that we need to have some people start stepping up if they want to become fire chief, and assistant fire chief. And we're not gaining a lot of interest from anyone. So through the discussion, one thing that was recommended is that we do a little rearranging and amongst the officers, not put anybody else up there, but just kind of retitle. They want to make a second assistant chief that's strictly over training, which would then allow the chief or the current assistant chief to do more work that the chief is doing. They unanimously voted to go that route. So when they do their budget presentation, they're going to be bringing that to you to talk about. It's about $250 a month is what they want to do to add this position. I think it's more than reasonable, but that'll come at the budget talks for next council meeting. But the hope and the goal of this is to continue to get people involved that are of the younger generation, get people promoted, and hopefully somebody will be willing to take over sooner than later. I don't know if you have any questions or comments about that, but.
Okay. Well, sounds interesting. Sounds good. City Administrator's report.
Happy to report that the History Center roof and the Southeast Lynn roof is completed from the March storm. They were in town last week, so that is done, and you can probably see that on the consent agenda. As Dave said, the construction is wrapped up till spring. I just want to thank everyone for their patience. Obviously, we've had numerous calls and questions and tried to keep everybody in the loop, but I think as a general statement, everybody has really been patient with this, and we tried the best we could to address any of the issues that they had. And also thank my city staff here at City Hall for all the calls and to deal with some difficult situations. So thanks to everybody with that. Obviously it snowed this week, so we'll see what happens with the weather, but chances are leaf pickup is done for the year. If it does, snow melts and it gets nice, there is an opportunity we can get out, we will, but just so everybody knows, that'll resume again in the spring. YTT sent me some cost opinions over the weekend in reference to the sports complex. So I'm going to try to get with her this week and go over that and hopefully have some discussion items in some future meetings here to get that going, to go out for bid. I've been working tirelessly with Johnson County Refuge in reference to numerous garbage issues, pickup issues, broken cans, etc. So I think we're kind of moving in the right direction. This has been going on for about 3 months. The bottom line is, per our contract, everyone needs to have their garbage out to the curb at 6 a.m. So our pickup window is 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. That is how it was put out from day one. Don't get into a routine, because if your garbage was always picked up at 1 o'clock, they can pick it up anytime between 6 and 5, so we can't control that. So we're gonna try to get that message put out. They're working with us. They came to town today and picked up everybody's garbage that was missed on Friday. So kudos to them for going out and doing that, because typically if we ask for that, that's a charge. But they're working with us because there's been some issues. So just bear with the process here, and the main focus is get your trash out by 6 a.m. And if it's missed that day, make sure you call us so that way we can get the issues resolved. They do have GPS tracking of the trucks, so they're gonna know if you just missed the truck or what have you. So, again, just keep that communication open with City Hall if you have issues. We've been working with personnel, reference to the library position, as well as the underground specialist. We interviewed 2 individuals. Right now, we're conducting background checks on the one, and hopefully at the next meeting, we'll have a presentation for hire ready for that. Met with Brett Rickard in reference to a message sign out here in the rock area there where the ADA sidewalk was. He's putting together a quote, but I think that'd be, since we're going into budget talks, I think that would be a pretty neat idea to have something there to inform the public. You can do all kinds of different things on there. It
But
could
a
be-
physical sign, like iron sign lamp out of the ground,
Yeah, well, yeah, it'd be
or electronic.
like a electronic sign. So I think it would open up opportunities for, businesses to maybe donate to a local nonprofit, through the city, to put their logo, all kinds of things that you can venture into with that. But I think the most important thing is it's another way to get the word out on certain things, council meetings and weather and all that stuff. So anyway, we can look for that in the future. The next meeting, obviously, we're talking about budgets. I think it's gonna be a longer meeting. Would there be any interest in starting the budgets at 6:30, or would you rather keep it at 7? We can get through it either way.
I have no problem with 6:30.
I don't either. 6:30 is fine with me.
Give me 1 second, I just need to check my schedule. I don't foresee a problem, but I always like to double check, because I'm in a really busy time this time of year. So hang on. The 11th will work. I can go, we can go early.
What was that?
Early's fine with me.
I can make it work as well, but we should make sure that Rick can be here.
Okay.
It's not any problem with Doug, but I think you got 4 approvals here.
I'll talk to both of them, and if they can make it, I will,
Set it accordingly, and that's what will be in the packet.
yeah.
Okay.
But if not, we'll just do it at 7. We can get through everything. It's just gonna be a longer meeting, so. That's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
That's quite a bit. No, sounds good. Anything else for Brandon? Good? Okay, moving on. Council and mayor reports. John, would you like to start us off?
Well, I don't have anything in particular. The quarterly newsletter from the city is out. There's a lot of stuff going on this month, and I urge people to read through it. There's some good reminders there about keeping snow out of the travel part of the roadway, so that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mike, got anything?
The only thing would be making sure that we're cleaning up around the city buildings. They look pretty rough right now.
Like the sheds, you mean?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I know that we've got a lot of poles down there too, but there's grass up my height. in some of that area, so.
All right. If the snow clears and there's an opportunity, I'm sure they'll take care of that. Sarah, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. Congratulations, I wasn't here at the last meeting, so congratulations to John and Kevin Steele. I think Kevin will be a great addition, to the council, so congratulations to the both of them. Congratulations to Doug, who got reelected. To echo what, not necessarily echo, but Mike's comment about, I think we all know that the guys have been very busy, so we have to take that with some courtesy when we're telling them to clean up around the shop. We know that they're short-staffed, we know that they've got a lot going on, and I think now if there is grass, that grass is gonna die off. And we really can't mow anything or clean it up when there's snow on the ground. So let's give a little bit of grace to the city workers who've been working their rear off. They know what needs to be done. And that's really all I have.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything really other than just to thank the city workers for getting the snow cleared as best they could on Sunday. It was quite a surprise to wake up to that much snow, but we're gonna get through it. Thank you, Drayton, for your work and helping in that endeavor as well. Speaking of the city sheds and the lot to the south of the second one, we got light poles from the ball diamonds taking up that space. Are we saving them for parts? Are we gonna repurpose them?
So well, there is some lights there too, but the bad lights went to the electrician in Springville. They're redoing the housing, and if we want to use those lights, we can repurpose the lights on the soccer field. Or we can choose to dissolve it all, but,
if they got a purpose, then great.
yeah, that's why they're there. I know it makes it difficult, because obviously grass finds a way to grow through it, but we'll figure out a way to make it a little bit more presentable. I will say that that is also the staging area for all the construction this summer, and they just finished, within the last couple weeks. So, like you probably saw a trailer there for all their signs. That was sitting back there. So, I will make sure that we do the best to get it at least cleaned up, presentable in the areas that it's not. I'll go down there myself and take a look and see what we can do to, make it look better.
Okay. It's been a few months since I walked the dog past there, but I remember the lights are all there, and I knew we were keeping them for a good reason.
And it may never not, we may decide not to take them out there, or whoever wants to make that call, but we just kept them knowing that there are some that still work, and I think we could repurpose them if we wanted to.
All right, sounds good. Okay, well, that's all I've got. Is there any other business? All right, meeting adjourned.